بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أعزائي طلاب الصف الثاني الثانوي، أهلا بكم. Today we are going to have a review on Unit 5. We're going to do the worksheets together. So how ready are you? Do you have your worksheets ready? Okay. Unit 5. Starting this worksheet, it's a vocabulary exercise, and I'd like to tell you that vocabulary is very important in the long run. The more vocabulary you have, the better speaker of the language you will be. Again, choose the correct words. I decided to choose a suit made of. What is a suit? What is a suit? Yes, right. It's a formal clothing like the ones we wear as teachers at school. Like the one we wear at school, the teachers wear. Yeah. What is it? Of course, a suit can be made only of linen. And for further investigations of meanings, you can consult your dictionaries, of course. Okay, Calvin Klein is a famous fashion. What? How can I form the agent from a verb? I can hear somebody say, yes, it's, as you told us, designer. Designer. Right. Food items are sold at such as supermarkets. Where are food items sold? Of course, outlets, places that we can market, that we can sell food items and other stuff. Handbags, designer watches and jewelry are all fashion. Are they fundamental? Or just fashion? Yes, exactly. Accessories. Kamaliyat, we say. Things that are not necessary. My father is 65 years old and he's blank now. What happens to people who become 60 years old? Do they still have their jobs? Retired. A retired person is someone who does not work anymore, but he has a salary for his service. People who stay at hotels are, what do we call them? Interviewers? Hosts? No, of course, guests. Yes. Can you read number 7? Marketers often refer to customers as what? You are right there, consumers. Exactly. Number 8, the money you pay for something is its style, price, shape or size. What do you think, gentlemen? Of course, it's price. Yes, we are already familiar with this word. Number 9, the amount of jewelry worn by individuals indicate the level of. Indicate. Show. What? Of course, the level of their wealth, the level of their riches, whether they are rich or not. Thank you. Let's move to the grammar exercise. It's an overview of the grammar items that we studied in this unit. Choose the correct answer. Again, the flat next week. From the word next week, it's an indication to the future tense. So we have two options, or rather, what do you think? Will decorate? Will the flat decorate itself? Of course not. Decorates will be decorated or decorate. Those who are familiar with the piece of grammar would say This is going to be will be decorated. This is what we call the future passive. Future simple passive. Yes. Many people to the wedding last week. Again, many people blank to the wedding last week. Invite, it doesn't work because it doesn't refer to the past. Have invited, were invited, will invite. With a little pondering, it's a past simple passive sentence. The chair's out in the garden at the moment. Of course, this unit has to do with passive. Yes. The chair's out into the gardens at the moment. The chairs are not going to carry themselves out. They are being carried out into the garden at the moment. Some people are carrying them out into the garden at the moment. And with the word at the moment, it means it's happening now. Okay. Can you read 4? The Egyptian cotton to different countries. What do you think? This is a piece of fact. For this reason, we use the present simple. And again, it's the present simple passive. Because the Egyptian cotton cannot export itself to different countries. It is exported to different countries. Number 5, all the questions blank on the paper. What do you think? I can hear somebody say, yes, must be answered. What do we call this? We call this a passive with modal. The modal is the word must, and when we form a passive sentence with a modal, we start with the object, as you can see, and then the modal itself followed by be, and then the past participle of the verb. Again, number 6, the dress was blank by a famous designer. This is a passive, simple past sentence, and the dress was what? Yes, right. The past participle of the word make is made, of course. Dates are blank in Medina. What do you think? Dates are grown. Right. Farmers grow dates in Medina. So dates are grown by farmers in Medina. An advertising company is blanked the product. Is marketing the project. Here, is this a passive or an active sentence? What do you think? This is an active sentence. It starts with the real agent, with the real subject. An advertising company is marketing a certain product. Promoting and marketing. Number 9, designer jeans can in most situations. Of course, designer jeans cannot wear themselves. This is a passive sentence, right? So, since can is a modal, I believe you can still remember the form of how to form a passive sentence with a modal. Can be worn in most situations. Do as shown between brackets. The arrangements for the party will be discussed tomorrow. What? What's wrong here? Of course, it's not will being. It should be will be only. Just will be. And we omit the ing. I'm going to discuss this orally with you, and I'll be sending the answers on the school website to you. Last year, my cousin first prize in a competition. It's last year, gentlemen, so it's in the past. When should be what? Yes, won. Right. WON. You have to plan carefully to your teachers. Have to is a model, and this is an obligation. You have to listen, not listened. We should delete the ed. My new car will be tomorrow. Will be what? It's not going to deliver itself. Will be delivered. Past participle. Instead of the ing, we should put ed. Alright. Unscramble the words to make sentences. I am on exercise C. Lebanon grown are in apple trees. Mind you, in all scrambling activities or unscrambling activities, you have to have, let us say, a sensible meaning of the sentence before you set out and set off to unscramble it. You have to know, you have to recognize which word to start with, which is the subject, which is the doer of the action. Okay? If it is a passive sentence, you know that we start with the object. So all these sentences are based indeed on the grammar you have studied. They are not haphazard. They are built on the grammar you have already studied. So each sentence represents a grammatical structure that you should be familiar with. Well, I believe you can see what I mean. Lebanon grown are in apple trees. Yes, apple trees are grown in Lebanon. Okay, right. Now Adrian Smith by designed Burj Al Khalifa was. The words by and was signal the use of passive here. So I would say Burj Al Khalifa was rather designed by Adrian Smith. Interviewed being the candidates at the moment are, again, being and are at the moment. This is a passive structure. So we can say the candidates are being interviewed. Again, the candidates are being interviewed at the moment. Week, the results next declared be will. This is a future sentence, and from be, will, and the past participle, again this is a passive structure. The results, the outcomes, the results will be declared next week. Okay. Ask me if activity is intended to refresh your knowledge with yes/no questions. Ask me if the fields are being irrigated right now. You should say, are the fields being irrigated right now? You make it a question by just making R precede the word the fields. Yeah, it's all about the inversion of the subject and the verb positions. Are the fields being irrigated right now? And you add a question mark, of course. Penicillin was invented by Alexander Fleming. Again, was penicillin invented by Alexander Fleming? Okay. I leave the reading passage for your own homework, and I'll be sending the answers to these worksheets, all of them, to your school website. Thank you, and wait for me in other lessons. Have a good day.